First on Fox, because original stories matter. When someone is sexually assaulted here in Tennessee, waiting for updates in their case can cause crippling anxiety.
A Murfreesboro woman waited over a decade only to find out police made a critical mistake, one that allowed her rapist to stay free. She shared her story with Fox 17 News' Alex Apple.
Annie Wortham's attacker stalked her for weeks. She had no idea.
I felt like there was somebody behind me. You know, like how you get that feeling and you turn around and you're like, oh, you know, it's just my mind playing tricks on me. Someone knocked at the door and they asked if I had jumper cables.
Then 21-year-old Annie wanted to help. All too trusting, she made what was nearly a deadly mistake.
This man is in my home and he attacked me. I fought him the absolute best I could. You know, that's when I was able to really pull his hair hard. I was able to get the piece. It's like almost like a scalp matter.
Wortham called Murfreesboro police, trusted those officers to find her attacker that had run off away from her house. Years she waited.
Oh, they assured me, oh yes, everything's in CODIS, everything's just fine, you know, don't worry, you know, we've taken care of everything.
She thought surely the police had tested the large piece of scalp she'd torn off her attacker. She was wrong. Not only was her rape kit never tested, police have no record of having her evidence. She heard in 2014, 14 years later, about the state's backlog of sexual assault kits, at the time trusting her day would come.
And it was really disappointing to figure out that that's exactly not what was happening.
As of last month, the TBI had 177 kits awaiting review. Because private labs can't access the DNA database, all go to the TBI for a technical review.
You know, it could be personnel issues, there's not enough people, or, you know, in the summer there's vacations, so there's not as many people working, and it's just a million and one reasons why there is a backlog.
Nashville prosecutor Tammy Mead says now even old tests are getting retested as the backlog is fixed.
Maybe under old technology it really couldn't be tested, or it wasn't a broad enough test. Whereas a few years later, it's a small sample that we can get lots of information on based on just the advance of the science.
In that case, time is a friend of the victims. But as the weeks turn to months and then years,
My girl.
victims have no means to check up on their case. The state grants victims no rights to notice or to be informed.
You can't follow up and check up on your own case.
Sure, the prosecutors and investigators are the victims' allies at all times, but endless silence breeds crippling anxiety.
You tell me how that kit, that box, is not a priority to you. Can you look at me in the face and tell me that that's not important?
All police had was Annie's clothes. There was no DNA sample match on them. Wortham's attacker remains out there, as far as anyone knows.
I've never seen someone's eyes so full of hate and just staring at me like he did not care.
His face still burned into the mind of a victim, serving her own version of a life sentence.
You can see more reports about the impact of rape kit backlogs at fox17.com.